against Ukraine. Can they repeat that performance and get another 3 points? It's time now to sit back and enjoy the action. It's a big, big game. It's Scotland against the Republic of Ireland with Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
Thanks, Kenny. Under the lights again here at the National Stadium as the two sets of players prepare to get their photograph taken before the action gets underway. The 13th meeting between Scotland and the Republic of Ireland. It's been fairly even over the years in the 7 UEFA competition meetings between them. Scotland actually lead on the head-to-head, 3 wins. Those came in 2 World Cup qualifiers. At least 2 of them were to the Republic's two draws. And of course Scotland's victory over the Irish the last time they were in Glasgow across the city at Celtic Park. It's the first time the Irish have been here at Hampden since a 2003 2-0 friendly win. Kevin Kilban and Clinton Morrison scoring in 8 early first half minutes. The Scots actually haven't beaten the Irish at Hampden since a 1962 World Cup qualifier in May 1961, which they won 4-1 under Ian McCall. 2 changes from the side that started the Ukraine match. Hickey and Dykes in for the injured Patterson and the benched Adams. Gordon in goal, Hickey, Hendry, McKenna and Tierney. McGinn in his 50th cap, McGregor, McTominay with Christie and Armstrong supporting Dykes. The Irish have Bazunu in goal, Collins, O'Shea and Egan at the back with Docherty and McLean wide. Cullen, Malumbi and Knight in the middle. Parrott and Obafemi, both goal scorers against the Scots in Dublin in June, will lead the line. Goal scoring hasn't generally been a problem for Scotland in matches here under Steve Clarke at Hampden. They've only failed to score in 1 of their last 13 games here. That was against the Czechs at the European Championship last summer. It's going to be the Irish who'll kick off. They're wearing their change colours, luminous orange jerseys with black flashes, black shorts and the orange socks. Scotland in their navy blue and white. The Irish going right to left, attacking the west end of the stadium as Scotland win it back immediately from centre, but then give it away almost immediately as it's picked up over on that far side and launched forward by Nathan Collins, who scored the Irish goal against Ukraine in that match in Poland in June, 1-1 draw that's done much to aid the Scots in particular. The Irish already out of the contention for finishing top by virtue of Ukraine's 5-0 easy win in Yerevan earlier on this afternoon against the Armenians, as it sails behind for an Irish goal kick. And it will be taken by their goalkeeper, Southampton number 1, Gavin Bazunu, just 20 years of age, the Dubliner. And he is first choice at Southampton this season, having left Manchester City in the summer. And he'll take the goal kick long with the right foot. And Willie Miller, Scotland will want to start the match with the kind of impetus they finished the other night.
I think you want to do that, in every game you play, really. You try to make sure that you're on the front foot and you're taking the game to the opposition. And they do have to do that. It's really interesting with Ireland playing the 2 up top and Scotland only having the 2 central defenders. I think that's going to be a really interesting part of the game to see how, Henry and McKenna deal with having 2 and at times being 1v1.
And infamously, the Republic's only win in the Nations League was that one against the Scots a few months ago. We've had real issues with this tournament as Craig Gordon hits it long up towards the edge of the centre circle. It's one there, just flicked in field by Josh Cullen, the Burnley midfielder, and it's worked all the way back to the focal point of the 3-man defence. But it is picked up there by Dara O'Shea to his goalkeeper inside his own box. Long ball into the Scotland half. The referee sounds his whistle and gives the Irish a free kick just about left of the centre circle. Swiss Sandro Scherer is in charge. He was in Glasgow very recently. He took charge of Celtic's Champions League opening defeat to Real Madrid here in the east end of the city just a couple of weeks ago. Both managers down there, Steve Clarke, and to his right Stephen Kenny with his arms folded, who once upon a time managed Dunfermline Athletic in a Scottish Cup final here 15 years ago, in fact 15 and a half years ago, just about, since Stephen Kenny was in charge of the Pars here as they lost 1-0 to Celtic. It's a long ball from Bazunu, goes all the way through to his opposite number, Craig Gordon. And it's Gordon who underarm bowls it out to this near side for Aaron Hickey, now of Brentford in the English Premier League. Back to Hendry, who's with Cremonese now on loan from Bruges in Italy. as it's picked up by McKenna. Long left-footed ball into the Irish half, flicked on by Dykes. McGinn gets himself onto it and does well to work it back out wide left. The ball returned to Ryan Christie's got too much on it though, and it comes right through to Bazunu. We played 3 minutes, 0-0.
I mean, it's good play. It's not really culture stuff. It's actually, twin striker play at its best there. Tall striker. And Dykes flicking it on for McGinn. And McGinn, taking that run beyond Dykes to read the fact that he's going to win that ball. Not maybe easy in the eye, but very effective.
Scotland in possession deep inside their own half here with Hickey. Rolls it out to the right for Armstrong. Infield for McGinn, who is hauled to the deck there. That's going to be a free kick given away by Dara O'Shea. And it's about level with the edge of the circle inside the Scotland half. On this right-hand side, the Scots going left to right in this first half, attacking the east stand end of Hampden Park. And again, it's strong play by McGinn. He probably knew that he was going to be fouled there.
Yeah, he's cute as well, John, isn't he? He knows that there's arms round him, but he goes to ground. I don't think the arms brought him to ground.
Just evaded Armstrong. It just went across the byline as he was looking to shape to cross the ball for Dykes. He was behind for a goal kick to the Irish. 4-0 0-0.
I think he was always struggling to get there, Liam, but it was decent play and a good run from Armstrong. Just maybe the ball overhit. He just couldn't keep it in. If he had been able to keep it in, then he's sliding in to play the ball across the face of the Irish goal. It hasn't settled down yet, the game. It's very early, first 4 or 5 minutes or so, but you would hope that the tempo might settle down a little bit and we see some passing football.
Ball ends up in the midfield. Little flick back the way is decent there from Malumbi. Scotland pick it back up with McGregor, who finds McGinn. It's a long ball by McGinn. Dykes is giving chase here. It's well marshalled in the end up though by Nathan Collins. Very good defender, promising player, but Scotland pinch it back wide in the left now with Kieran Tierney. He's got support from Christie. It's a low ball back into the penalty area, which is knocked half away to safety. And then Obafemi tries to get onto it just inside the Scotland half, but the Scots pinch it back. McTominay now for Christie, driving towards goal. He shoots, it's well wide though. The left-footed effort, he's more than capable. He's more than capable of scoring spectacular goals in this very national stadium. He's done so in cup finals in the past, Ryan Christie. 5.5 in, Scotland 0, Republic 0.
It was an opportunity for him to have the strike from outside the box, but he really didn't have too many options. Lyndon Dykes was the only target there, and he had drifted towards the back post, and he didn't have much company round about him to maybe try to build it up, play a little 1-2. It is within shooting distance, but I think Ryan would be disappointed with the quality of the shot.
So James McLean on this near side, little ball forward, he's been fouled. I think the ref's given him a free kick down on this near side. James McLean earning his 95th cap for the Irish.
I'll tell you what, Liam, you look at that, John McGinn's come in, he just rattled him, he's went nowhere near the ball. It's definitely a free kick, but I think the referee should have had a word with him at the very least.
3 Scotland players starting tonight are booking away from missing the Ukraine match on Tuesday. McGregor, McTominay and Christie. Adams is another, he's on the bench tonight. Here's McLean on this near side. James McLean's long ball, the header from Hendry. There was a little slip by Parrott. That allows McTominay to pick it back up, and he rolls it to the edge of the centre circle for Christie, who knocks it back to Scott McKenna, who Willie might remember 5 years ago this weekend he played against Motherwell at Fir Park, and his career has not looked back ever since. Aberdeen had lost heavily in a League Cup game at Fir Park a few days before, and Derek McInnes brought Scott McKenna into the team from nowhere, and he 5 years later is earning cap number 28, and he's now an English Premier League player.
Yeah, I do remember it very well. Disappointing performance from Aberdeen, and Scott being brought in for that strength.
And there's Dykes with the back flick for McTominay, to Dykes, back to McTominay, right hand side of the box, low ball, too close to the goalkeeper. Bazunu flops down onto it. 7 minutes in, 0-0, but it's really good build-up play by the Scots.
Well, it is, and McTominay getting forward, he's one of the players that you expect just to sit there, sit back, along with McGregor, but McGregor giving the cover and inviting McTominay to get forward. Good interpassing. He'll be disappointed with the quality of the cross. He didn't really get his boot round it at all, and it was an easy take for the goalkeeper.
McKenna poking it to Tierney, midway inside his own half over on the north stand side. Long ball from Tierney, he's going to come right through to Bazunu, who, Willie, was 5 months old when Craig Gordon made his senior debut for Hearts. up the other end of the pitch tonight.
Absolutely, but Craig Gordon's playing. His form makes you kind of forget his age. Actually, Craig Gordon, he brings off some magnificent saves. His agility is still there.
Good run down the right by Nathan Collins. His early ball is easy though for Craig Gordon, the aforementioned, to deal with, and he's got both gloves on it, and he bowls it all the way back out to the far side for Tierney, who'll then roll it back to the edge of his own box for McKenna. Back to Craig Gordon, first time left-footed, up towards halfway. Dykes beaten in the jump pretty well there by Collins, but it breaks McGregor's way, and the Celtic captain has found Hickey. Infield to McGregor and back to Hickey, just inside his own half. To the skipper, John McGinn. 34th player to get over 50 caps for his country. His long ball goes all the way through to Lyndon Dykes, but he can't get onto it, and it's Bazunu who picks it up and bowls it out, and now it's collected here by Dara O'Shea. 12th cap for the West Brom defender. There's a little spin by Obafemi over on the far side, just rolling it out to Docherty. Once upon a time he was on loan at Hibs, and back 10 years, more so now. As McLean collects on this near side, and it's a short ball back to the edge of his own penalty area for O'Shea. Big switch out to the far side, but it's crept over the line and out for a Scotland throw-in midway inside the Irish half. In the 10th minute of the game, it's still 0-0 here. The early stages, if you're just joining us on Sportsound on 810 medium wave with BBC Radio Scotland on digital online and on BBC Radio Scotland Extra on your smart speaker, as Jack Hendry picks it up from McKenna and moves it out to Hickey on this near side. Steps into Irish territory, rolls it along the halfway line to McTominay, back to Hickey, and he goes back to Jack Hendry. Willie, are you content with the opening 10 minutes by the Scots?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really a pattern to the game either. I don't think either team have really stamped their authority on it. I think both have had their moments. Very few chances been created in the first 10 minutes of this game. I think it's interesting. I think it's with the two up top for Ireland and Scotland playing with the four at the back, the two centre backs being asked to take care of these two, and then how do you build it up? The full backs should be on. I think Steve Clarke will be hoping that he can get his full backs, and that's where he starts the attack from.
The Irish in possession in the midfield. Malumbi just rolling it back the way, and it's going to be played out to the right hand side by the skipper Egan to Docherty, and eventually it's worked into the feet of Cullen, who picks up under no pressure right now, and it's a square ball to his left. And now O'Shea, he's got McLean on the touchline. O'Shea goes forward, looking to slip it through to Parrott. Is he onside? The linesman keeping him at play. Parrott's in behind the defence. He's in on goal here. He still has it. Scores! But the flag's gone up. I mean, that is a nonsense. That flag surely goes up long before he strikes the ball and puts it into the net. It's a fine bit of striker play by Troy Parrott, who was on the score sheet in Dublin. But this rule, which should have actually gone the other way. It looks like he's just offside, so it's a correct decision first and foremost. But we were bemoaning up until this season that the flag at times on offside decisions was taking way too long to go up. Now they're waiting until the ball's hit for goal. It's a nonsense.
I can't understand why he puts the flag up. Surely if he keeps his flag down, then he invites VAR to make the decision, does he not? Because he then puts the flag up, admitting that it was offside. Now I can see it's offside. It's right in front of me. I can see the line in the pitch. He's offside by a yard. Why he doesn't put the flag up, I don't know. It's a great goal, by the way. He finished it well into the top corner.
It's actually a let-off.
Yeah, it is a let-off, because we're playing square at the back. We're playing a high line, and if Parrott gets the timing right, he's in behind the Scottish two central defenders, because their two strikers are occupying our two central defenders, and it's going to be a really interesting contest.
Long ball for Lyndon Dykes, too high for him. It's going to come all the way through to Bazunu though, and the Irish goalkeeper takes it back into his own box. That was a dodgy moment for Jack Hendry in particular. Parrott just bulldozed his way past him. It looked as though the chance had gone actually. Did well, got back to standing position, and he fired it past. It took a deflection into the roof of the net. Then the flag went up. We were saying that someone's going to pick up a serious injury because of this offside rule last season. It's been extended now though until the end of the attacking move. It's a ridiculous state of affairs. But anyway, here comes Hickey midway inside the Republic half, and he rolls it back into the centre circle for McKenna. who finds McGregor, who moves it forward to Christie. First time out to the touchline for Tierney. 13 in, it stays nothing each then. It's with Scott McKenna, who plays it back out to Christie. Christie's chip ball looking for Kieran Tierney, too much on it though, and it comes all the way through to Bazunu again. Scotland 0, Ireland 0.
It's difficult to find that space because the way Ireland are playing, they've got the three centre backs, but their two wing backs are not really marauding wing backs that are pushing forward. They're kind of taking the half step forward, but that gives them the opportunity as a defence to really defend most of the time with five at the back, and to find pockets of space in behind the two wing backs with the three central defenders behind them is really difficult.
Scotland yet to really settle, but Christie's done well to switch it out to Hickey on the near side. He's in the Republic half now, level with the edge of the centre circle, moving it back to McTominay inside his own half, takes it for a run, then rolls it with the right foot out to the left for Tierney. Just inside the Ireland half now. This Tierney level with the edge of the centre circle for McGregor, back to Tierney, looking for movement. In the end he's to settle for playing it back into his own half for McKenna, who finds Hendry, being chased by Obafemi, and now it's with Hickey. Low ball forward to McGinn. He can't control this time, and that is another foul by McGinn. He would do well to not be booked after that one. He's had two heavy challenges, and this time the Swiss referee does want to speak.
He needs to.
The Scotland skipper.
And I think John needs to settle down a little bit. For me, that's two heavy challenges. That one was definitely late. It can, I don't think he's intentionally trying to take the player out, but it is a late challenge. The referee is speaking to him, and I think he has to, and I think John has to calm down a little bit. That's two heavy challenges. I think he's fortunate between the two challenges not to get a yellow card.
The next one will be, won't it? Almost 15 minutes played that time. It was on Jason Knight. As Ireland pick up with Bazunu, it's a long ball, right-footed, all the way out to that far side. The header was well won actually over there by Doherty, but the referee blows the whistle, and it's actually a foul there by Doherty on Tierney, and it will be a free kick to the Scots on the far side. Tierney still on the deck in pain, and we have very vivid memories of Nathan Patterson relatively early in proceedings against Ukraine here on Wednesday night, when he was upended in just about the same area of the pitch.
I would like to see it again. Is it an elbow into the face? I think he's going for the ball. His arm's up, but your arm has got to be up. I don't think it is an elbow into the face. I think the referee's made the right decision not to take any action on it, and Tierney's up and he's okay.
Matt Doherty now of Spurs, 10 years in the Wolves first team, at least within the Wolves first team squad. I mentioned he had that spell at Hibs all those years ago under Pat Fenlon. As Craig Gordon picks up and moves it short to McKenna. 16th minute of the game, 0-0. Remember, a draw is actually fine tonight. It's absolutely fine. That would mean they just need a draw against the Ukrainians in Clarke. As Hickey gets a little nutmeg on Knight down on the near side. He's found Armstrong through the legs again. This time it goes through Malumbi, and now Callum McGregor driving forward. His pass though can't be controlled by Christie in the edge of the Irish box, and it allows the Republic to boot the ball clear through Nathan Collins. One back by McTominay, but he's had it nicked off him by Obafemi, who's now driving forward. He's got Parrott to his right, others are arriving as well. Obafemi's up at the edge of the area. Scotland a little stretched here. A chance for the Republic. It's a good block challenge there. Really important block by Jack Hendry, and he goes behind for the first corner of the evening, which goes to the Republic. 16 and a half in at 0-0.
Well, they're direct, aren't they? When they get an opportunity, particularly Obafemi, who wants to drive forward. He's got nothing else in his mind but to take the central defenders on. In fact, one of the central defenders was out of position, and him and Parrott linking well. I think there's options there for Parrott to cut that one back. He goes for goal. It is blocked eventually by Jack Hendry. Good defensive play, but again, it's another warning for Scotland.
The Irish looking the more likely to score in this game. Here in and around the box, all but one outfield player actually is within the penalty area, or the D. It's swung in on top of the 6-yard area. It's Lyndon Dykes who gets his head to it, headed down into the penalty area. Goal Ireland! That's been smashed home into the bottom left corner, and what a finish it was. And it's Egan who's lashed it past Craig Gordon, and it is Scotland 0, Ireland 1. The Irish skipper opens the scoring in Glasgow.
Well, it's a set piece, and you know, you think that they've done well enough initially when Dykes actually wins a header, but it isn't cleared out the box, and you know, it falls for Egan, and you know, that is a striker's finish, isn't it? He'll be well proud of that one as it falls there. He's got to put the laces through it. He does exactly the right thing, just on the turn, you know, 8 yards out or so at the angle, takes full advantage of the set piece where Scotland don't actually clear it, and clips it in down low to Craig Gordon's right hand side, and it nestles in the back of the net.
Well, fair play to Jason Malumbu, who's kept that alive. It's his touch that's taken it to Egan. It was helped on its way by Collins, and Egan smashes it home and celebrates in front of the Irish supporters, who are delirious again against Scotland, as they were in Dublin in June. And once again, the Scots have a problem against Stephen Kenny's team. 1-0 to the visitors. And to be fair, in many ways it's been coming, because they've already had the ball in the net, and they've had a couple of other half chances as well of the Republic. Scotland haven't really started. They've certainly not started as they finished the other night. They perhaps weren't quick starters the other night either, to be fair, but the difference is the Irish have scored. 19 in, 1-0 they lead.
Well, it's the first goal of the game, isn't it? And it's a really important goal, and you know, I'm sure the Irish will be delighted. And the fact that they've got, you know, the opportunity actually to really, you know, make it difficult for Scotland with the back five rather than the three. You would think that they would, that's what they would do. I know it's very early in the game, only 20 minutes gone. You know, they'll still play with the two up top, but they've been really strong. They've been well organised. Scotland haven't really been able to take advantage of the shape and using the two fullbacks, who I think have got to be better. You know, they've got to be better. That is definitely the outlet. That's where Scotland have got to build it up from. But that's a real blow for Scotland's chances tonight, and it's going to take, you know, a lot of courage and a lot of character to get back into this game.
Well, they've found themselves in dark holes under Steve Clarke in the past. They've managed to at times dig themselves out of them, thinking most notably perhaps that late show against Israel. But they are behind John Egan's second international goal. The Sheffield United stalwart, his other one, actually gave them a lead against Portugal in the recent World Cup qualifying campaign. On this occasion he's given his team the lead at Hampden Park, as McKenna picks up, and it's rolled square there to Jack Hendry. Maybe get John Rankin's thoughts. See Hamilton Accies boss with us this evening. Difficult opening 20-odd minutes, is it not, for Steve Clarke's team, John?
Yeah, it's been interesting, Liam. I agree with Willie completely about the full-backs, and it's saying they must do better. I think the starting position's too high. When they're playing against a back three, if you start high, you're playing against the wing-back automatically, and it gives them an opportunity to push on. But I think the joys came when Tierney's picks up deeper and Haran Hickey pick up deeper. Then you're encouraging a midfielder to come and press you, and if the midfielder comes and presses you, then you can either get it out the other side, or the actual opportunity occurs when McTominay gets down the side with Hickey stepping inside, because the pressure comes from inside the pitch. Now that becomes a case of us having to be calming the ball in our own half and getting space to play in behind in the opposition half. But the interesting part for me is the goal actually comes from the only time we're caught 2 for 2 at the back, when McKenna steps in and goes tight. McTominay steals the ball, and then all of a sudden he takes a chance. They steal it, and all of a sudden we're 1v1, and it's a block by Hendry because he gets back in. But for the resulting corner, we concede a goal, and maybe we're not sharp enough to react to the second ball. But again, I agree with Willie. It's all to do with our fullbacks and how we can get them on the ball and where we get them on the ball. And then we need to shift that back three, because that back three are working with their 18-yard box right now.
Scotland in possession, and with Christie out to Tierney on the left as they attack the Irish box. Here's Callum McGregor, gets it out to feet and finds McTominay, who's under pressure. He's done well, turns it back to Tierney. Cross ball is headed clear. A lovely little chest down there by Obafemi, and then a good return pass out to the far side, and it's going to be an Irish free kick for a foul by Christie. Well, Russell Martin is the Swansea City manager. He hasn't been happy at all with Michael Obafemi, publicly so. He's not happy with his fitness. He's been questioning his desire. I think he was linked with a move to a couple of other clubs over the summer months, perhaps questioning his commitment. But Obafemi's been really good again so far tonight. We played a quarter of it. It's Scotland 0, Republic of Ireland 1.
He's you know, he's really quick, isn't he, in terms of, you know, his speed of thought. as well. And when he picks it up, he wants to drive and commit defenders. He's playing in an area that's just off Parrott up top, and the two central defenders are struggling to cope with him. He comes off as well, and he's had, you know, real good possession at times.
Hickey square ball to McTominay, back out to the right for Hickey. Hickey looking for support, arrives from Armstrong. Misunderstanding with Hickey though, and it's a foul by Hickey. I think the assistant's given down on this near side. Republic of Ireland will have a free kick deep inside their own half for the challenge there by Hickey on O'Shea. This is a Republic of Ireland team it's only won 4 of their last 24 away games, and those victories were against Andorra, Azerbaijan, Luxembourg and Gibraltar, and that dates all the way back to a win over Wales in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers under Martin O'Neill. So they've not been great travellers unless they've been up against the minnows of European football. But here they are, 1-0 up. They were 1-0 up against Ukraine as well in their last game, albeit they were pegged back eventually as Hendry finds McKenna. 1-0 to the Irish, 24 minutes played. If Scotland lose this game tonight, and ironically this is the one game of this triple header they could afford to lose, they would have to win in Kharkiv on Tuesday to top the group after Ukraine's win in Armenia earlier today. Here's McTominay driving forward, wins the throw-in on the near side. Stuart Armstrong's going to leave it to Hickey. It's funny because sometimes in a fixture like this, if you haven't been in good form, and the Republic, albeit they've had a couple of good results in their last 2 games, generally over the last few years, since probably Euro 2016, they've been out of form, out of sorts. Sometimes these kind of British/Irish matches, when you're familiar with your opposition, they play in the same divisions, same countries, it can actually bring a bit more out of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the challenge for Scotland now is to try and break the Irish down. They're really well organised. They play with the 2 up. They've got the 3 in the midfield. Then it's just 5 at the back now, isn't it? So they're going to make it really difficult. I think Scotland have got plenty of time. They've got to show patience. They've got to try and build it up. And how do they build it up? I still feel that their best opportunity to build it up is by using the fullbacks, and the fullbacks have got to take that responsibility on.
And Scotland fans over on the far side wanting a free kick, which the referee isn't interested in awarding. Scotland have it with McTominay, flashes it forward to Christie on the turn, looks up at the goal, threads it through. The shot was on for Ryan Christie. He tried to pass it to Armstrong or Dykes there when he was almost bang on the 18-yard line with the goal screaming at him to shoot at it. In the end, it slides harmlessly wide for the goal kick. 25.5 in, Scotland 0, Ireland 1.
Yeah, the strike's on, but I think Armstrong's on as well. But it's a weight of the pass. The weight of the pass is far too heavy from Christie. If he just kind of rolls it, then I think Armstrong's got a chance of getting on, having a strike at goal. The thought was there, but obviously taking it on himself and having the strike is the other opportunity for him. They didn't take that one.
The Republican possession. O'Shea rolls it out low to McLean, back to O'Shea, and forward it comes to Cullen, and he'll knock it back to the goal scorer John Egan. 27th minute of the game. It's a long ball out towards McLean, too much on it, goes out for a Scotland throw-in, which Hickey's going to take. You do get the feeling Scotland just haven't really started in the match yet. It got away from them in Dublin, at least in that game in Dublin. John McGinn had a couple of really good opportunities which he spurned. Nothing like that so far in this one for the Scotland supporters to hang their hats on, as McKenna under pressure has put it out for, in fact stayed in play, and the Republic have it with Docherty. It's not all the way back into their own half for Egan. And it's back to Bazunu. Bazunu then clips it out to this near side for James McLean. Under pressure from Armstrong as well to just nip it back to O'Shea. It's a long ball underneath, it's Parrott. His header goes straight to McTominay though. Now it's collected by Hickey, heavy touch. The break of the ball goes McGregor's way. Callum McGregor scampering forward as is his wont. Out wide right for Armstrong, it's a good ball. McGinn doesn't make clean contact and he puts it well wide. And it will stay on 27.5. Scotland 0, Republic of Ireland 1.
That is without doubt our best opportunity. Well worked chance. Fantastic cross from Armstrong wide in the right hand side. It falls to John McGinn's right foot and he just doesn't make proper contact with it. you know, I think when it's coming across like that and it's on your weaker side, then, you know, you've just got to try to guide it. And he's had a swipe at it. It's similar to one of the two chances he had, you know, in the earlier game, that you'll want to put by the post, one straight to the goalkeeper. In that occasion there, he's put it past the post, but it's a big chance for us.
Scotland win it back in the midfield. McTominay, now it's Tierney. Tierney has to go back facing his own goal into the centre circle. He's got Hickey in this near side, rolls it to him. Hickey in turn rolls it down the right for Armstrong. It's better from Scotland the last minute or two. Rolled back to Hickey. It's pass into the middle for McGregor. McGregor then left-footed, finds Tierney, takes a touch, decides to roll it to the left-hand side. Christie across, couldn't quite find Dykes. Egan with the challenge, a good one, good defending. Back out wide left, Christie, it's still alive. Can Christie win the corner? No, he can't even win that. And it's swept to safety by Doherty. Out for a Scotland throw-in on the far side in the 29th minute. The Irish lead 1-0.
Yeah, just signs there that, you know, we're getting the upper hand. We're beginning to find pockets of space, showing great, you know, patience in the build-up as well. I don't know, maybe Tierney could have taken that shot on as well.
Tierney's long throw into the box. Dykes flicks it on, but it's going to be swept to safety by Knight. The header from McKenna back out to that left-hand side. The Irish win it back, though, over there with Doherty. But McKenna does enough, and it's back with Craig Gordon, who comes outside his box and lashes it forward with the left foot. Down goes Dykes. Free kick's going the other way for handball, I think, though. And bounced off Lyndon Dykes' left arm on its way back down. We're in the 30th minute with the Irish leading by 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a free kick. The fans obviously don't agree with it, but there's no doubt that it's come off Lyndon Dykes' hand. He's got a tough task there, you know, up against the three-man defence. They're all tall and strong and good defenders, so you know that's going to be an interesting battle as well if they're looking for. Sorry, I thought that they were going to get hit in the break again.
Yeah. Oh, misunderstanding there between Dykes and Christie, and Ireland get it back. Swept out to Parrott on this near side. Up against Hendry. Hendry does enough to just force it to McTominay, and then Hendry wins it back and finds Hickey. Hickey's chip ball up towards halfway for Dykes. Beaten in the jump by Egan, though. It's in the middle of the pitch with Cullen. Forward to Obafemi. McKenna's challenge is a good one, and McTominay nicks it to Armstrong. Armstrong looking for movement in navy blue ahead of him. Turns it to his left instead to McGregor. Out to that left-hand side, Tierney, midway inside Irish territory. A couple of yards from that far side touchline. We're in the 31st minute of the game with the Irish leading by 1-0. Scotland needs something to get them going. McGregor out to Tierney on that left-hand side. He gets an overlap from Armstrong, uses him, finds him level with the penalty spot. Lovely burrow there by Armstrong, gets space, crosses in with the left foot. Dykes heads it back towards the 18-yard line where McGinn's scuffed effort will go well wide of the left-hand post. And on 31 minutes it stays Scotland 0, Republic of Ireland 1.
Yeah, he doesn't catch that one properly either, John McGinn, but he's in good positions, isn't he? And I think he'll be encouraged to keep getting into these positions. And yeah, it's a really intelligent header back from Lyndon Dykes. He didn't have too many options there. He manages to clip it back, and John McGinn's in a good position there. If he meets it a bit sweetly, then it's a big opportunity for him. He just fluffs the shot again. It comes off, I think, inside his boot and just goes by the post.
Just watching a replay of John Egan's goal there, and the big man from Cork celebrating his second international goal, which has caused Steve Clarke a bit of a headache. The Scotland manager's down there at the edge of his technical area. You don't see Steve Clarke give much away. Stephen Kenny was whooping away in celebration when the ball hit the net, as he did with all three, which hit the back of Craig Gordon's net in Dublin. Thrown over on the far side for the Irish to be taken by Nathan Collins. He left it for Doherty actually, and into Egan. Now it's with Obafemi. He gets the break of the ball in the midfield, and he's charging forward as he always seems to do. Tries to roll it out to McLean. It's picked up though by Hickey, and Armstrong goes down, and the referee sees that as a free kick as Dara O'Shea clatters him to the deck. Free kick Scotland, 1-0 Ireland.
It's a very British game of football, isn't it? You know, you're not getting much time out there at all. You know, it's really, the tempo is really high. You know, it's going from end to end. It gets a little bit scrappy at times as well. I think the Irish are working really hard whenever Scotland's got the ball to try and make it a physical game. So we're not seeing the finer side of football. It's an intriguing game, though. It's a high-tempo game. They've got the upper hand just now, and Scotland are trying to just keep knocking away at the door, trying to open up their defence, which is really well organised.
Here's a good run forward. Doherty, Obafemi touching it back. Parrott out wide left of the Scotland box from McLean. Digs the cross out, taking a deflection up into the air. McTominay heads it away. He was fouled by Obafemi, and Scotland will have a free kick inside their own box. 33 minutes played.
Okay, it's silly by Obafemi. Okay, he's not going to win the aerial battle, but he gives away a free kick in a dangerous position. McTominay's still got to clear the header. If he just leaves it and allows McTominay to take the header, Ireland have got plenty of men round about to win the second ball, and he gives away the free kick, and it just takes the pressure off.
Tierney forward to McGregor, who shifts it back to McKenna, and the Scots hit back before half-time. Hendry playing it short to McKenna again, and then out to Kieran Tierney. Forward to McGinn, lets it go across him as he chases it down, but it comes through to Egan, who's able to boot it clear with the right foot. Tierney's clearance falls straight to Doherty, and the Irish are driving forward again. They've looked dangerous every single time they've come forward in this first half. It's out wide left with McLean, takes a touch, looks up at the box, crosses in, it's pretty deep, there's a header at goal, and Gordon throws himself to make the save, but I think there's been a free kick awarded for a foul on Tierney inside the box.
There's a push. I mean, there's no doubt there is a push. I think it's Parrott, is it, at the back post on Tierney. Tierney makes the most of it, right enough. He brings his attention to the referee, but there is a little push in Tierney's back, and he goes down pretty heavily. I don't think the push actually made him go down that heavily. But again, Ireland really good winning the second balls. Anything played up, they're very sharp to get on to anything that's headed back down, or try to, Scotland try to play it out. So, they're playing with a high intensity when, whenever they see the opportunity, when that ball gets played, if it's a header by a defender, if it's a header by one of their players, back down, they're onto the second ball, and then they're building that attack up, and they're looking really dangerous as well.
Yeah, they've certainly been up for these games against the Scots. There are many in Ireland who have been criticising Stephen Kenny since he took the reins from Mick McCarthy. It was a long-term succession plan. Stephen Kenny was always at some point going to be in charge of the Irish national team. He's been criticised a lot, but there are many in the Republic who want him to do well and desperate for Stephen Kenny to do well. And there are signs that he's beginning to turn the ship. Not least these games against the Scots. They're giving Scotland another hard time here. We're in the final 10 minutes of the first half. Republic leading 1-0. Long ball from Tierney for Christie. Sails harmlessly out for an Irish throw-in. Level with their own penalty spot over on the far side.
I think the midfield have got to show a little bit more, when the full-backs are on the ball. Most of the time where, you've got Hickey and Tierney in the ball, the only ball that they're really looking for is the one over the top into the corner, when, it should be that you've got plenty of midfield players there. You've got McGregor and McTominay in particular that should be, demanding the ball to try and take it off them, and that's how you build your attacks up, instead of just playing it, over the top and hopeful balls rather than, really accurate passing movements.
McTominay wins it back midway inside the Irish half. Hendry helping him out. Now it's McGregor out wide right of the box for Armstrong. Armstrong looks up, gets the cross in, and it's headed behind for Scotland's first corner of the evening. 36.5 on the clock. They are 1-0 down.
Well, we hope that the corners can be as good as the ones against Ukraine, don't we? With Dykes and the aerial power that he's got.
And it comes, it's flashed across to the other side, and it goes behind for another corner. There's John McGinn's floated delivery. He'd play settle for another one because it was a difficult one to attack. Such was the floatiness of the cross ball. Kieran Tierney's taken a blow inside the box, and it's the second time in the game that he's been poleaxed.
I didn't see, I'm watching a replay, I didn't see anything in real time. Watching a replay, I still haven't spotted, the issue. In terms of
much in that. It was Parrott again, wasn't it?
He seems to be holding his head, and you can't see any contact on the head, so it's a strange one.
A little bit of attention for Kieran Tierney while Scotland set up for this second corner in quick succession. Well, there's a little tug in the shirt there, was there?
But that doesn't hit your head. You know,
no, it doesn't, but it could give you a penalty.
Yeah, but listen, the amount of tugging that goes on in the box, if you were to give penalties for every tug in the box in the modern day game, then you'd be giving penalties all day long. I'm not too sure. As he hurt it himself as he went down, he twisted his neck perhaps.
Well, it might have been a flailing boot, Willie, that's caught him. Kieran Tierney, this would be another blow for the Scots if Kieran Tierney has to come off, and John Carver down there yet change. Tierney's done. Greg Taylor, I think, is going to be coming on to replace Kieran Tierney. This is another blow. But was there a pull in the jersey there when that corner was floated in by John McGinn? Another corner has been given. Greg Taylor, he's been Celtic's first choice left back this season, so Steve Clarke knows him very, very well. He trusts him in his time at Kilmarnock. And Tierney is sitting back up now, and he'd a sore one the other night against Ukraine as well, didn't he? And with that huge game in Krakow to come on Tuesday, and as things stand, Scotland are going to need to win that game to finish top of the table. After Ukraine's win in Yerevan earlier today, the group looks like this right now. Ukraine top on 10 points, Scotland second on 9. The Irish, as it stands, would jump up to 7. Kieran Tierney is he's back on his feet.
It looked as though he was saying he was all right there, but I don't think the medical people are having any of it.
Well, he's behind the goal. Scotland down to 10 right now, but it is their corner. In-swinger coming up. It's floated into the box again. It's headed clear to the edge of the penalty area. And then the break of the ball goes the Irish way. Over on the far side, it's a long one out to Obafemi on this near side. It bounces off his bat. The Scots now need the ball to go out of play. They need to get Greg Taylor on. Obafemi knocking it back. Here's James McLean getting it from Cullen. Level with the edge of the centre circle. Low ball forward. Picked up here by Knight. Back out to Parrott. Scotland still down to 10 here as we go in towards the final 5. Kieran Tierney getting a warm round of applause from the Scotland supporters as Greg Taylor waits at the edge of the technical area to come on. Short ball to this near side. Knight goes back the way to Cullen, who in turn rolls it back to O'Shea. The final 5 minutes of the first half. Scotland 0, Republic of Ireland 1. Remember, a draw is fine for the Scots tonight. If they can find an equaliser and don't concede again, a point is fine. 2 draws will see them finish top of the section. They lose this, they need a win on Tuesday, and the Irish are coming forward again. Little ball towards Parrott, cut out by McKenna, and then Christie's fouled. Surely that's a free kick. Christie's bounced back up. The referee didn't seem to be motioning for a foul there. Scotland have it in any case. It's out with McGregor on the far side. So we head towards 41 minutes. There'll be a couple added on at the end, I would imagine, as McTominay moves it left to right of the centre circle for Hendry. Tierney's away up the tunnel. Well, Andy Robertson is here in Scotland regalia tonight, injured, unable to take part in this triple header, but the captain is here watching in the stand below us. His team trails 1-0 towards the end of the first half here. It's Christie back to Armstrong, infield to McGregor, back to Armstrong. He's back into his own half for Scott McKenna. Scotland seeing a lot of the ball but going nowhere with it right now, and still the Irish have a numerical advantage. Hickey dinking it forward. Here goes Lyndon Dykes chasing after it, up against Egan. He's inside the box, he shoots, Egan blocks it brilliantly. He's claiming goal kick, but Scotland are going to get a corner here in the 42nd minute, and on comes Greg Taylor to replace Kieran Tierney.
Well, that would have been something special if we'd have managed to score from that. Kind of a passage of football, very good football, patient play with 10 men too. You know, I think you would imagine that most managers would be screaming to get the ball out so they could get Taylor on the pitch, but that wasn't the case, and you know, the manager was perfectly happy to see play continue.
McGinn takes it left-footed, it's too close to the keeper. Bazunu holds on easily in his goal line, and it stays 1-0 to the Irish. Saw Ryan Fraser's 2 on-point deliveries from corner kicks in the second half against Ukraine the other night, and he teed up Dykes for his double in the space of 8 glorious second half minutes. Now, this has been a real attritional battle that the Scots have found themselves in. Long ball, Obafemi getting onto it on the near side, and he's done brilliantly again. Back to Knight, Didn't see much of Michael Obafemi. He's been a bit of a star though in the 2 games against the Scots so far, as Hendry goes back to his goalkeeper and Gordon fires it forward. He perhaps feels he's got something to prove tonight as well, given his club problems. As O'Shea picks up and moves it left to right of the centre circle, where it's picked up by Collins. To Docherty on the right. Christie trying to stay with him. Docherty driving forwards, a really good run. Taylor should be able to see it behind. And he gets pushed as well, does Greg Taylor, who's just on. And that's going to be a goal kick to the Scots. Tell you what, Willie, it's a good job Scotland are so strong in the full-back area, given all the injury problems that are being sustained by them. Greg Taylor's got a sore one there, and it was a needless push as well on him. There's no need for it.
Yeah, but that's the way the game has been played tonight, isn't it? You know, I'm saying it's a typical kind of a British style of football where, you know, there is contact, there is physicality. And, you know, when you're seeing the ball out like that, maybe you have to just be a little bit stronger. You know, the challenge comes in from behind, and, you know, I'm not in any way saying that Taylor should have done better. But if he's a little bit cuter as well and he sees that coming in, he can maybe ride the challenge a little bit better.
Pretty cynical as well, I actually thought it was by Docherty. Anyway, it's going to be a Scotland free kick meantime as we tick into the final minute of the regulation 45 here. Scotland are 1-0 behind. Dykes wins the free kick. And Jersey Pool, John McGinn over it. It's about midway inside the Irish half. McGinn stands and waits to take. Left-footed, he's played it low to Callum McGregor, who then takes a touch, looks up, clips it with the left foot to the left-hand side of the box, easily headed away. And then Taylor wins it back off Docherty to the edge of the box. McTominay's effort is charged down. Christie back out wide left for Taylor. Low ball back, is going to go out for a throw-in down by the corner flag, as it was blocked by Knight, and now it's with Christie. Christie then drives the cross in, headed clear again. They cannot get beyond this Irish rearguard so far. And here they come again with Jason Knight driving forward. On the counter, the Republic, Obafemi's with him. It's Knight, slides it through to Obafemi. Really good challenge by Scott McKenna on the slide. Now it's with McTominay. McTominay for McGinn, who has his legs whipped away from him by Knight on this near side. Scotland 0, Republic of Ireland 1, as we go into the first of 2 minutes of stoppage time. And the yellow card has been shown there to Josh Cullen for dissent.
Yeah, but there are. I mean, we're watching some heavy challenges, and you know, it's quite incredible that a yellow card comes out for dissent rather than the actual challenge itself. I think the referee's been pretty lenient in some of the physical challenge that's been going on. For both sides, I would add to that as well.
Greg Taylor driving down the left-hand side. Short ball out to Christie on the touchline, midway inside the Republic half. Christie back to Taylor, now back to Christie. Former Celtic teammates, comes back to Nottingham Forest's McKenna. Now Hendry out to the near side touchline for Hickey. They've barely tested Bazunu of the Scots in this first half. As Hickey is brought down by Cullen, who was booked just a second ago. And that's what the Scotland supporters are howling about. It's a free kick only. It's no second yellow for Cullen.
I think the referee's having a bit of a shocker, to be perfectly honest, because, you know, that is, he's nowhere near the ball. You know, it's a sliding challenge where he doesn't go near the ball. I think Hickey goes down because he's put off rather than, you know, the actual physical challenge of it. That's the only defence I could put up for the referee not showing the second yellow, but it was reckless, nowhere near the ball, and, you know, in normal times you would expect that to be a yellow card.
Scotland free kick then, and it's in a decent little position here. It's about 25 yards from goal. It's right to centre. There's only about 20 odd seconds left of the injury time. McGinn's over this. Can they equalise with the last kick just about of the first half? In it comes, it's headed down. Dykes was in there, but it's lashed away on the 6-yard line by Jason Knight. Really important defensive clearance. I make that just about time up as McGinn swings it to the left-hand side. It's going to go behind for the goal kick. And Scotland are going to be behind at the half-time interval here at Hampden after the elation of the win over Ukraine on Wednesday evening. The Scots find themselves in a hole against the Republic of Ireland for the second time in a few months. At least they're only the one behind at the break this time. John Egan's mashing it home. Really good finish by the big centre-back in 18 minutes. Troy Parrott had the ball in the net 6 minutes before, ruled out for offside during a little period of pressure from the Irish when they looked very dangerous every time they came forward. Obafemi's been a live wire. Scotland, on the other hand, have barely tested Gavin Bazunu in the Irish goal. He's not really had a save to make. John McGinn has flashed a couple of efforts wide, but that's been about it really, and the woes were added to by an injury sustained by Kieran Tierney, who in fairness didn't look too happy that he was being taken off. I just wonder if Steve Clarke has decided there and then, let's keep him for Tuesday, because Tuesday right now is going to be a must-win if they're going to finish top of this Nations League section. If Scotland lose this, they will have to beat Ukraine for the second time in 6 days, only this time in Kickoff, because right now at half-time at Hampden, in the penultimate game in this section in the Nations League, it is Scotland 0, Republic of Ireland 1.
Scotland in the UEFA Nations League.
It's absolutely brilliant from Scotland!
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
On BBC iPlayer.
Enter a world of ice. Plunge into the coldest water on Earth, where 200-year-old giants rule. March with 1 million penguins and swim 400 miles to find your next meal. This is life in the extreme. Frozen Planet 2.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
So Scotland 0, the Republic of Ireland 1 here at half-time at Hampden Park. Leanne Crichton is back in our studio. Leanne, this takes me back actually to the World Cup playoff game against Ukraine that we lost, and at half-time yourself and Willie were crying out for something to change. We've just been in the back foot for long periods here.
Yeah, they have been a very different performance than we've seen the other night at Hampden. For me, I don't know if it's too much in terms of the system that Scotland are playing, but perhaps more about the personnel and the speed of ball. You know, the speed that they're moving the ball for me tonight's not good enough. There's not enough urgency. There's not enough intent to try and move Ireland. It's far too easy, playing right into their hands in terms of the shape, in terms of their press. I don't think we're utilising the strengths of Lyndon Dykes, for example. He's in the team tonight because of that aerial threat. For me, all I've seen is aimless balls at times being launched up to him in a 3v1 situation. I don't think Scotland are holding enough width in the pitch at times to get balls into wide areas to then go and allow your striker to have anything real to go and attack with any hope and optimism that he can actually get on the end of it and score. I think very wasteful in terms of the decision making in the final third. Having said that, though, we're only a goal behind and it comes from a set piece, which is the biggest frustration for Scotland. A really poor goal to have lost. 2 attempts, Lyndon Dykes again in the side to go and win the first header, which he does. Could he have done better, perhaps, and maybe tried to get it more out of the danger area? But defensively we switch off. Jack Henry drops his player. Callum McGregor has got to be stronger. And it's an easy opportunity for Ireland to get their noses in front, and that's exactly what they would have wanted tonight. They would have wanted to come and make it really difficult for Scotland, and at the point they get their noses in front, to then make it really difficult for Scotland to break them down. And so far Scotland have really struggled to do that. Yeah, they certainly have. John Rankin, talk to us about how these two formations line up against each other and what Steve Clarke will be looking to change.
Kenny, Ireland have got the better of us. It's a 3-5-2 they've started with, and it's 3 flat players in the midfield. They very interesting. Their first goal kick, they start with a 2 centre-back split. One comes slightly wider, and Scotland lock on. They lock on to try and stop Ireland coming out, which is a thing in the modern game where you try and stop the press and people try to build from the back. But the thing that's happening just now is the goalkeeper Bazunu is just pinging it long, and it's going 2 for 2. And McKenna and Hendry are finding themselves 1v1 in the hour half, which we're not wanting to be. So is it a case of we come off it and let them allow them the first pass, and then we go and try and set the traps that we had the other night there? That might be an option. But the other key thing for us is, Willie touched on it in commentary, and Leanne spoke about it as well. Leanne spoke about the speed of ball, and Willie spoke about the full-backs. Now, the full-backs having to get on the ball is fine. But can we try and get on the ball deeper to drag the wing back out? And if we can do that, and we drag the wing back out, then who's going to get in behind the wing back? And for me, like Leanne spoke about utilising Lyndon Dykes but holding the width in the pitch, I think the only way to get width in the pitch tonight is for Armstrong and Ryan Christie to actually creep inside the pitch to begin with. So their starting position in possession has to be against the 2 wider centre-backs. If their starting position against the two wider centre-backs, they're almost saying to their wing-back, push on because you're not doing anything. As soon as they let that wing back go high to our full-backs, which is Hickey and now Greg Taylor, that space then opens up, so it becomes a case of, can we play inside to get outside really quickly, and then we allow Armstrong and Christie, Armstrong especially, to make those diagonal runs from in to out. In that case, we've then got a centre-half dragged into a wider area where they don't want to be, so they'll back off and allow Armstrong to drive at him. But I don't think we've utilised the width outside the 18-yard box in either half, in our own half, to allow the full-back to get on it, which is, as I said in the commentary, who's going to go and press? Is it the inside midfielder? And if it is, then, as Leanne's talking about, we can hold our width on the opposite side, get it in the middle and get out the opposite side really, really quickly, and then we've isolated somebody. I don't feel we've moved the back three from Ireland at all. And by moving them, what I'm talking about is Armstrong and Christie making those little diagonal runs in behind the wing back to attract them out, which allows then space in behind the back three in a wider area. But it also allows John McGinn that space in the central area for the balls that's getting played in the box to pick up the second part of that just now. Because for me, what's happening is Josh Cullen, who, by the way, I think might get taken off at half-time after he's set his booking there, and then the foul after it. But Josh Cullen broke up a lot of play, and when he breaks up the play, he's very clever in the fact of he's breaking up, and it's not a sideways pass, he's passing it forward straight away, and it's getting to Parrott and Obafemi, and it's causing us problems because Ireland's energy then running forward is creating problems with us being 2 for 2 at the back.
Yeah, mate, they're so far ahead of us, Tom English, in this first half. The Irish side, as John said, looking very, very comfortable and very, very threatening. Obafemi's a real handful.
Yeah, he is, and Scotland got 2 warnings before the goal. Parrott, the goal that was disallowed, rightly so, but there was so much space there. And then Obafemi goes through, and Scotland were playing such a high line. I mean, it was very, very dangerous what they were doing. Obafemi is through, he wins the corner, and they score from the corner. And it's again Scotland getting done by an Ireland corner. The first goal that Ireland scored in June, Alan Brown, same corner. They win the header, ball goes back in the box, and Brown sticks it away. It's a very similar type goal, and it's sloppy from Scotland. There's nothing happening in Scotland's midfield. McTominay quiet, McGinn inaccurate, McGregor not really in the game, Armstrong and Christie not really in the game. It's a really poor performance. Ireland are pretty comfortable in this, surprisingly comfortable. They certainly have Scotland's measure right now, and you know they're getting their tackles in, they're winning second balls, they're getting little interceptions, they're breaking up Scotland's any time Scotland look like they might get up a bit of rhythm, there's an Irish player in there breaking things up. And whether it's Cullen or whether it's Malumbi, it's an Irish jersey, and they're doing their stuff here. And I wonder now if they got into on the back of the 3-0 in the summer and now 1-0 here. I wonder if these Irish lads are in the heads of the Scots.
It's interesting, Willie, because we were all very, very confident ahead of kickoff here this evening. And we talked about Steve Clarke's comments before the game against Ukraine last week. We talked about having stalled in the summer, and it very much looks like that again this evening. That's been such a pedestrian performance in the first half, so disjointed.
Yeah, it has been, you know, but I think you've got to give credit to the Irish, you know, and Stephen Kenny, and the way he set his team up, and he's made it really difficult for Scotland. He's nullified the midfield, there's no doubt about that, but you know, the midfield have got to show. I think the 2 players that have got time on the ball when Scotland have got it are the 2 full-backs, because the way Ireland are playing, they've got the wing-backs, but the wing-backs are sitting back making it a 5, so there is room for them. But when they get on the ball, there isn't really any positivity. You know, very rarely do you see them driving forward. I think Hickey done it towards the end of the game, but you've then got to look at your midfield. Are the midfield demanding it? No. Where is John McGinn? John McGinn's almost playing like a second striker. Is he coming? Is he looking for it? You know, John there is talking about trying to create and get space in the wide areas. Now, if you've got 2 strikers up there and you've got a full-back in the ball, surely one of them has got to, you know, come looking for it. A midfield player's got to show for it as well, given Hickey or Taylor, you know, a couple of kind of choices to play the pass so you can build it up. And if it goes up to McGinn surely can then play it out to Armstrong. So there are options there, but I just don't think that we're using the options. And to be fair in the Irish, they've been in about Scotland. They haven't given them time. They've rushed the passes. They've got really close to them in the midfield area. and we're playing the two up top against our two central defenders, then at times it looks scary, doesn't it? It looks as though we're really wide open, 2v2, fullback's not tucking in, and the Irish, whenever they get it, are really direct. Obafemi in particular, whenever he gets it, he just wants to go and commit players, and when you're 2v2 like that and you've got someone running at you, it's really difficult to defend. So it's been a bad first half for us. I think, you know, Steve Clarke has got to give it a lot of thought in the second half. Does he change the shape? Does he change the formation? Does he match up? Because sometimes when it's not going for you, you just match up and you play the same formation as the opposition, and then you're saying, well, are we better than them because we've got the same shape as them? That might be an option for him. I don't know if he'll go down that road, but it's obvious for everybody to see that the formation just now and the personnel just now, it's not the same team that we saw on Wednesday night by a long chalk, and it's really got to change. There's still time, you know, for them to get back in this game, and as you said, a draw would be a decent result, but you're looking for a victory here at home against the Irish, who's, you know, form hasn't been that great, but we're not looking like we're capable of breaking their back five and their solid mid three down at this moment in time, and we can only hope that it'll change in the second half.
I just think, Willie, we perhaps need to be a bit more direct. I'm thinking even a player like Ryan Fraser, bringing him on, natural pace, natural winger, just go and give you something different. I think when you look at that middle to front just now for Scotland, it's very similar in terms of the players. I know John's speaking about coming in the pitch and trying to offer up that space in wide areas, but I actually think Scotland are coming in the pitch far too early, which is then suffocating the likes of Scott McTominay and Callum McGregor's ability to find John McGinn and actually influence the game. I think we need to go and make the pitch as big as we possibly can and actually create enough space for our key players to play. Billy Gilmour would be another one. You know, I don't think Scott McTominay or McGregor has influenced the game in terms of their technical ability. Going and showing for the ball, picking passes, linking the game, offering a range of passing. I think it's very, very easy just now for Ireland to just, as I say, suffocate the middle of the pitch, block all the passing channels for Scotland, and it's very easy. Everything that Ireland have had to deal with just now has been in front of them. And I think at the point we start to offer more runs in behind and really stretch them, I can only remember one occasion, I think it was Armstrong got to the byline and put a delivery in for Dykes, which was much more like the effective type of play that I think is going to cause Ireland problems.
Yeah, I think the Billy Gilmour situation where, you know, he is the type that you probably need in the midfield, because I'm really disappointed with Callum McGregor and Scott McTominay, you know, in terms of them not taking responsibility to go and look to get the ball off the full-backs. I think, you know, I think Gilmour would certainly do that, and Ryan Fraser, if you stuck him wide, if he says to, you know, maybe even Christian Fraser, just to go wide and pin their wing-backs back the park and at least give them something to think about. We're probably too narrow there, and it's far too easy for Ireland just to sit there with the back five at times, and then when they break down, you know, they're dangerous on the break, and they're wanting to hit Scotland in the break very, very early, but we just haven't opened them up. You're right, something has to change. I think the manager has got to look at the situation and try to come up with a formation or a substitution that will change the fortunes round this evening. Still get time right enough, but we need something to happen in the second half.
I think it's crying out for Fraser. Get somebody in behind, bit of pace, vary the point of attack. Nobody's going past any of these Ireland players.
Yeah,
no one's getting in behind these Ireland players. Nobody's offering anything, throwing anything different in Ireland. They're just soaking this up. They could probably soak it up all night. It's just the same kind of attack. They need to show something different here.
Well, the Scotland side are back out. It needs to be a whole lot better from Steve Clarke's men in this second period. They trail the Republic of Ireland by 1 goal. Now it could actually have been more. Let's then get back to our commentary team of Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
We can't emphasise enough just how important it is for Scotland to finish top of this Nations League group. It could make the world of difference when it comes to getting to Euro 2024. The pot 2 seeds for the draw, which is made in Frankfurt on the 9th of October, that's 2 weeks tomorrow, has got some huge nations in it. You want to be in that pot 2 so you don't have to face them. Pot 3 will bring a lot more problems than pot 2, but also to go into that campaign, as they did for the last European Championship qualifying campaign, knowing that they already had a playoff secured, would be huge for Steve Clarke's team. The result tonight does not determine that either way. If they win, if they lose, if they draw, it just affects the outcome of what they need from Tuesday evening in Kickoff against Ukraine. Right now, it would have to be a victory. As the Scots, no changes, despite the guys talking about who they may have been able to bring on. Only Greg Taylor on for Tierney is the change that's been made since the starting 11. So as the Scots get the second half underway, going right to left as we watch from the main stand, navy blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks, Ireland in their change colours of orange and black. And that's a dreadful ball by Taylor. He's given it away there to Doherty. He's away from a couple of challenges, and now he's driving into a pocket of space, and he slips it with the outside of the boot to Parrott. He's inside the box, just taken away from him slightly, a bit too much on the pass. It's the Irish number 10. No changes for them as they go left to right, attacking the east stand end of Hampden. And it's a little short ball out to Parrott on this near side. McGregor can't win it back, and it's Ireland who are driving forward to the edge of the penalty area. Obafemi rolling it back to Knight, who flashes it out to McLean over on that left-hand side. Attacking the left angle of the box against Hickey along the 18-yard line. Forced back the way. Cullen, who has come back out for the second half, out to the overlapping run. The ball into the box is cut out by McGregor. It wasn't a great first touch by McGregor, but he's managed to clear it as Dykes holds off his man. He's done brilliantly there out on that far side. He's got no support at the moment though, and has to roll it back down the line to Aaron Hickey. And then it's played in field to McTominay in the second minute of the second half. Remember, a draw fine for Scotland tonight. They draw this game, they just need a draw on Tuesday to finish top of the group. But they've got a lot of work to do to even come out with that tonight. Armstrong, another poor pass, which is easily hoofed to safety by Nathan Collins, who'd done some really good attacking play just a moment ago. Here's Taylor for Armstrong, back to Greg Taylor, who has come on to earn his 9th cap for Kieran Tierney. He didn't look as though he wanted to come off, and it goes back to McKenna, and now it's with Jack Hendry. And already, Willie, a couple of loose passes at the start of this second half. That was the story of the game in Dublin in June.
Yeah, I mean, I think the quality of the passing hasn't been good enough from Scotland. You know, they need to show much more calmness, much more accurate passing. Whenever they've got the ball, you don't want to be giving it away. The Irish are working tremendously hard, though, aren't they? They're putting a lot into the game. They're not giving Scotland any time at all to, you know, to get the ball down, get the head up, make the passes. But when we do get the opportunity to do that, then it tends to be, you know, far less accurate than we would hope for this evening. You know, because I think when you find yourself in a hole like this, you're asking for the players to go out and show real character and show real calmness, and look at the experienced players, the guys that are playing at the really top level and have been, McTominay and McGregor, and I think they've been a little bit disappointing this evening. You would expect better from them in the second half.
Another loose ball,
another
Christie.
one.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be accurate. That's a simple ball up to feet, up to Dykes' feet. He wants it up to feet. He doesn't want it in behind him in that situation there, because you can see he's coming towards the ball, and Christie's really got to find him, allow the striker to hold it up, and then get a bit of support for Dykes. You know, and instead of that, he plays it a really inaccurate pass and plays it wide of him and gives possession away again.
McKenna for Scotland to the right of the centre circle for Hickey. Scotland shooting towards Mount Florida in the second half. It's the opposite of what they did in the second half against Ukraine on Wednesday. As Hickey plays it back to Jack Hendry, who finds McKenna. Taylor's an option to his left. Interesting to see, and he knows his manager tonight, Steve Clarke, really well, Greg Taylor. He's been playing as an inverted fullback, and the whole time he's been working with Ange Postecoglou at his club. As Hendry strides into the Irish half, forward McGinn to his left, now to Taylor to his left, pokes it forward to Christie. Taylor continues his run, Christie on it, left hand side, good play from him, chip ball into the box, goal! Jack Hendry heads it home across the bows of the goalkeeper, in off the post, and then runs over to the corner flag to celebrate as Hampden Park, the vast majority of it, erupts here. It is Scotland 1, Republic of Ireland 1.
Magnificent goal, isn't it? Ryan Christie doing extremely well down the left-hand side. You know, he's only got one thing in his mind. He dips his shoulder, he goes toward the byline. A little dink cross, but Jack Hendry, fabulous run from his own half to set up the opportunity. Initially, it continues into the box. The ball hits the byline. The cross is absolutely sublime, right on to his head, his forehead. He's still got a fair bit of work to do, but he finds the far corner, a little pocket of space in the far corner, and it nestles into the side net. In off the post, I think, perhaps. It's a really accurate header and fantastic play from the Scotland centre-back.
Third international goal for Jack Hendry. And do you know what? He deserved it, because he started the move. He was over on the far side, driving from his central defensive posting into an attacking position. He started it, he finishes it, and it's 1-1. And the Scots are back on terms. And that's come very early in the second half. It's come at a brilliant time, because they no longer have to stew on the deficit. 1-1, 50 and a half on the clock.
That's just what they needed, Liam, isn't it? You know, I think they needed that lift, that tonic. They haven't really been in the game particularly as much as what we would have hoped for, but that turns it round. You know, that first goal was a hammer blow for them, but you've got to react, you've got to show character, and right early in the second half, that's exactly what they've done. Good piece of play, but Jack Henry's got to be applauded for his drive and determination to set up that opportunity, stepping out of his centre-back role, you know, where he's got a man to mark as well, so he's taking a little bit of a chance, but it's opened him up. It's created that little bit of something different that's opened him up and given Ryan Christie the opportunity to do what he does.
Yeah, but here's a chance for Docherty. He's in the box for the Irish, cuts back onto the left, he's off target. Callum McGregor's a lucky boy there. It was his poor pass. It's so unlike him, Callum McGregor. And Matt Docherty, it's fortunate it was perhaps him who's elected to have the shot there, because he's well off target. It stays 1-1.
Yeah, he's trying to curl it in to the far post. Did really well to set up the chance, but then he doesn't show the composure to use that left foot and whip it, you know, into the top corner. Mishits it completely almost and puts it well past the post. But yeah, it is, you know, it is pretty scrappy at times from Scotland, with players that you don't normally associate with giving the ball away easily. Callum
Brilliant
McGregor
from Dykes. Dykes wins it back brilliantly there off Collins. Rolled out to the right for Hickey, an attacking position. Back with McGregor, who rolls it back to Hickey wide on the right. Faced by McLean, he goes back to Callum McGregor, who goes back to the goal scorer, Hendry. Hendry out to that right-hand side for Hickey again. Hickey gets away from McLean and plays it forward to Christie. Suddenly the Scots have a bit of a swagger about them again. Here's McGregor. Ball to McGinn, takes a touch, shoots, of course he shoots! And he puts it just wide of the right-hand post. Got plenty on it, to be fair to him. 52 and a half. Scotland 1, Ireland 1. Goals change games. That's what all the professionals say. It's what all the players say. It's what all the managers say. And the goal scored by Jack Hendry has certainly brought this Scottish team to life.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It does. You know, it knocks the opposition for six. They've been feeling in control of this game. We haven't really looked like breaking them down, and all of a sudden early in the second half that's turned on its head. It lifts Scotland, it lifts the crowd are, you know, really behind the team now, and you know, the Irish are beginning to question themselves, and all of a sudden, you know, there's energy in the Scotland team, there's movement in the Scotland team, they all want on the ball. You know, it's good to see.
Again, out wide left to the Irish box for Taylor, infield for Christie, onto the left, shoots, blocked, pings back out to this near side from McGinn, who rolls it back to McKenna. 6 yards inside the Irish half to McGregor again, back to McKenna, and now with Christie out to John McGinn. 53 and a half on the clock at 1-1. McGinn in possession on this near side, finds Callum McGregor to the skipper McGinn in his 50th cap. He's in possession once more. McGinn, who drew level with Maurice Johnston on 14 goals for Scotland the other night, and he opened the scoring against the Ukrainians. As Hickey picks up on the right to Armstrong, now back to McTominay. This is much better. Christie now towards the edge of the Irish box, looks up, left foot, bending ball in. It's going to sail all the way through to the other side of the box, down towards the corner flag, where Hickey picks it up, level with the Irish 6-yard line. Low ball into the box for Armstrong. Armstrong on the turn, delicate chip's going to be easily headed away by Egan, the Irish goal scorer. It's picked up by McKenna. Scotland smell blood now.
It's a different team, it's a different attitude, isn't it? Everybody's wanting the ball, they're all making themselves available. There's good runs from in to out. John McGinn dropping deep at times as well.
There's Callum McGregor. It's another delicate ball. Dykes takes a touch, turns, shoots, blocked. There's a good important block as well there by O'Shea. Here's McGinn. Scotland come again. Hickey in the box. It's taken away from him though. Henry picks up the scraps wide on the right. Armstrong to John McGinn. And is McGinn level with the Irish penalty spot. Chip ball looking for Armstrong. Armstrong then back to McTominay. Flights it in. Dykes almost got there. But for Nathan Collins, he would have done. Collins happy to concede the corner, which is taken quickly by Taylor to McGregor. Back to Taylor. Back to McGregor. Oh, he couldn't find Christie. He's gone straight to Obafemi. Suddenly, the Irish are 2-on-1. Obafemi driving forward. Opportunity here for the Irish. He's played it to the left-hand side. Chance to restore the lead. Gordon saves from Troy Parrott, who holds his head in his hands. Scotland so lucky this time. But once again, it's Craig Gordon. But you have to say, Troy Parrott's got to score. 1-1, 55 and a half on the clock.
Nah, we've committed too many players forward. We're in a poor shape. No defenders, desperate challenges. It's a great opportunity for Parrott. He's got to score there. If he lifts it at all, I think it's over the top of Craig Gordon, because Craig Gordon goes to ground pretty early, but because it's along the ground, then he manages to get his leg on it, put it out for the corner. But you need to be more disciplined. You certainly can't allow yourself to be ripped open like that at the back. Taking quick corner kicks is all well and good, but you must make sure that the door at the back is locked. And Hickey's down.
It's another full-back down. It could be another change for the Scots. They've got Tony Ralston on the bench, of course. Well, what's that, 11 and a half minutes into the second half? It's been all action. Scotland have been so much better in the second half, but they could have been back behind there.
It's a huge chance, isn't it? And I think it's Ryan Christie that makes it desperate.
Did he get booked for that? I think he has done, has he?
I think he should have been, because he
was trying to. For the ball. It was a professional foul he was trying to commit. As Scotland are going to have to make the change. Hickey off, Ralston on. Let's bring in John Rankin, who's watching this as well. In fact, no, let's not, because there's going to be a corner here. We will get to John in just a moment as the Irish take the corner. It's headed away. Scots are down to 10 again right now. Picked up on the edge of the box and last high over the crossbar by Cullen from about 30 yards, and it stays one apiece. 57 minutes in. John Rankin, what have you made of it?
It's been much better, Liam, much better. As Willie said, we're getting runs now from in to out, which is dragging the centre backs out. I think the goal comes from that. It's Jack Henry, great driving play, gets it straight through the middle, gets it out to Greg Taylor on one side, but Greg Taylor's low enough in the pitch when it entices the full-back, the wing-back to come out, which then allows Christie to make the run. Christie lifts his head and picks out Jack Henry in the box. The risk of Jack Henry being in the box was worth the reward of him scoring a goal. But Aaron Hickey's actually sensed the danger when he makes that run, and it tucks round, so it's still 2 for 2 at the back. So great awareness from Hickey at the time, but a whole different tempo to Scotland in the second half. We've now got runners in behind. We've got runners making runs in behind the wing backs. We've also got John McGinn peeling off the far side. When the switcher plays on, they're allowing the build-up to play in the midfield, and John McGinn's peeling off the far side where he can get in behind their midfield, which is causing huge problems, because who comes and presses him? Is it one of the centre-backs, the middle one, the wide one? And when that happens, we're getting the switcher play. Much better from Scotland second half.
It's a double change for the Scots. Stuart Armstrong's also gone off along with Aaron Hickey. Ralston on for Hickey, and it's Ryan Fraser who's come on for Armstrong. Ralston cap number 5, Fraser cap number 24. Set up both Lyndon Dykes goals the other night against the Ukrainians. 1-1 is the score, 58 and a half on the clock. But it was the quick corner, wasn't it? It was Greg Taylor and Callum McGregor who, of course, they're used to doing that with their club team Celtic, this never-stop attitude that the club has right now. But it was just any little breakdown when, as Willie says, committed so many forward, could have been punished.
You've got to be organised when you do, quick free kicks, quick corner kicks as well. You've got to make sure that that you don't leave yourself open. That's what Scotland did. And you've got Ryan Christie who's making a desperate challenge to try to stop Obafemi driving forward, and that's a huge opportunity. At this level, you're expecting that to be a goal. It should have been a goal for the Irish.
They're going to make a change. I thought they were going to make it a few minutes ago. Yeah, they are. They've decided they're going to bring on Chidozie Ogbene of Rotherham, and he's going to replace Obafemi, who's obviously run out of gas. He has had those fitness issues that his manager Russell Martin, former Scotland defender, has been lamenting this season. Here is Ryan Fraser's first touch of the ball. Back into the centre circle for McGregor, who finds McGinn. McGinn's got Fraser ahead of him. It's now with Ryan Fraser. Pushes it through to Taylor inside the penalty area. Rolls it back out wide left, Christie. Bends it, it's a brilliant ball! Couldn't quite find the head of Dykes though. But it is a corner because the defenders put it past. On the hour mark, 1-1.
Yeah, they're finding, so much space now that they couldn't find in the first half. Christie's movement there and his accurate crossing into that's a great cross because it takes the goalkeeper completely out. It's good defending. Dykes is almost on the end of it, but good defending from the Irish.
Austin McPhee's down there jumping up and down trying to get some message across. Of course, he's credited with a lot of the set piece stuff on the training ground. It's a short corner. McGinn to Christie. McGinn plays it back. Dykes laying it back to the 18-yard line, but it's going to be pinched back by Parrott for the Irish, who are looking to hit in the counter-attack again. It's towards Ogbenny, but good challenge by McKenna. Then out to that far side. Christie couldn't quite get it into his stride as John McGinn tries to make the challenge there. McLean gets it forward. Ogbenny's going to give chase here. Jack Hendry facing his own goal as well to get it back to Gordon, who plays it straight back off Ogbenny. And fortunately for the Scotland number one, it bounces straight back to him. One apiece at Hampden, 61st minute.
Lucky white header, that's for sure. I think Craig Gordon normally so assured that as the ball's played back to him, he is under a little bit of pressure, but he mishits it completely right back to the substitute, who if he puts it anywhere else, it's a goal. It just goes straight back into the arms of Craig Gordon. So fortunate to see that opportunity, and a big opportunity. Ogbenny, putting Henry under pressure. It is a tight back as we're watching.
Yes.
Our old friend Packy Bonner in the stand there with a smile on his face. I don't know what he's smiling about because we're back in this game.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Bonner are here watching on, of course, Republic of Ireland legend. So much so, they launched a stamp with his face on it. Not everyone gets that privilege. The big man here watching, interested spectator. One apiece at Hampden, 62nd minute of the match. Approaching the end of that now. One apiece, a result that does Scotland. Remember, 2 draws from these last 2 matches is enough to top the group.
I think you want the win though, don't you? You want to keep, the good feeling going. They haven't really.
Oh, look at this though. Benny's got goal side of McKenna, who brings him down. Free kick to the Irish level with the 6-yard line, and a yellow card for Scott McKenna, who was completely done by Ogbenny there.
He got too tight, didn't he? He got too tight to the striker, and he just cut in right across him, and he takes him out of the game. It's a yellow card, there's no doubt about that. Scott's got to be more cultured in how he defends that situation and get himself back goal side rather than going in for the challenge. And that little dink over the top of him, and it leaves him totally exposed, and he has to take Ogbenny out the park really, and he gets that yellow card.
Still a danger though. Set piece just outside the Scotland box. It's about halfway between the corner flag and the 6-yard area, so just a couple of yards, a few feet away from the penalty box, a couple of yards from the byline, and Cullen's over it. Nervy moment here for the Scottish supporters. 63 in it, 1-1. Cullen takes it right-footed to the back end of the box, but it's flicked away, and Ryan Christie puts it up high into the sky. But it was down to that left-hand side. Offside flag was up though. Quick offside decision there, Willie, would you believe? It's funny, they can put the flag up quickly when they want to, can't they?
Yeah, but when it's glaring and it's right in front of you, and you're looking right across the line there, and he's got the 18-yard line as a gauge as well, and he knows that it's offside. But the goal that was chopped off eventually for the Irish in the first half was blatantly offside as well, and I don't know why the flag didn't go up early then.
Took the Scots a while to recover from Nathan Patterson's injury the other night. They've had to lose another couple of fullbacks tonight. Kieran Tierney in the first half, Aaron Hickey in the second. Beginning to look a little bit light in that department. Ralston and Taylor on just now though. They won't want anything happening to those two. The Irish in possession. It's rolled out to this near side for Docherty. Forward to Ogbenny. McKenna keeping tabs with him. Ogbenny has an option and Parrott ahead. He's away from 3 challenges, driving forward, and James McLean's in loads of space. Left-hand side of the area, twisting and turning against Ralston. Low ball comes in. It's only half clear. The shot at goal's blocked there. As it was thundering towards goal, it was Malumbi's effort as McLean picks up level with 18 again. His cross comes in, he's got it into the box and then headed away by Taylor. Parrott was there, Taylor will prevent the corner down on the near side. Looking a little bit dishevelled all of a sudden, Scotland, who started the second half so well, found that equaliser, but ever since that chance for Parrott on the counter from the Scotland corner when they were very much on top here, looking to get their noses in front, they've been all over the place at the back. It's been very jittery. 65 on the clock, one apiece.
Well, Benny's been a problem for Scott McKenna. You know, he hasn't dealt with him particularly well, giving away the free kick. Being too rash in the challenge, getting too close to him and getting turned. And that occasion there as well, so Benny again on Scott McKenna, and he allows him to turn this time and really causes us problems because we're all over the place at the back. And I think Scott's got to calm himself down a little bit, get back to what he's good at, being a good defender. He's just let it drop a little bit in the last 5 minutes.
The whole team has. Giving the ball away again. McLean picks up on the left. It's a long one looking for Benny, the header from Ralston. It's Parrott though, he'll pick it up and he works a 1-2 brilliantly. Really good give and go there, and then there's a shot at goal which is harmlessly wide. Goal kick. It's well passed in the end from Malumbi, I think it was. No, it was Knight, in fact. He's about 25-30 yards from goal, claiming he was fouled there, but it goes behind for the goal kick, which is taken short by Gordon to Hendry, and then out to Ralston, who finds McGregor. Two Celtic players, and then Ralston into his own box for McKenna, who plays it out to Taylor on this near side. One apiece, 66 played. Up towards McGinn, chests it back to Christie. Now McGregor. Left-footed ball to the right of the centre circle for Ralston. Fires it forward brilliantly for Ryan Fraser, who's in space. Right-hand side of the box up against McLean. Drops the shoulder. Right foot cross comes in. McGinn's gone down in the 6-yard box. It will be a corner initially given here, although the protests from John McGinn are not the loudest, which tells its own story. It stays 1-1 in the 67th minute.
Yeah, I don't think it is an infringement. Are they asking for it to be looked at? I don't think so. But the arm was out.
Oh, he's got his finger up to his ear as if he's taking on some kind of advisement. They've obviously told him it's okay. It's a Scotland corner, Ryan Fraser to take. We know what he did with 2 of the corners he took the other night. Here he goes, can he find Dykes again? And it comes. This time it's headed clear by the Irish. McGregor's cushion header back for Christie. Looks up to see if Fraser's still an option. He was, but he decides to turn in field instead, and it's a poor ball looking for Dykes out to the right, headed away by McLean as Callum McGregor puts it out for an Irish throw-in over on the far side. It's 1-1. We're approaching the final quarter of this penultimate Nations League B Group 1 encounter. A draw puts Scotland back at the top of the group this evening, ahead of the match in Kickoff against Ukraine on Tuesday evening. The prizes for winning this group are huge. Make all the difference to the next couple of years of international football for the Scottish side.
Well, they've turned it round, haven't they, in the second half? I think Steve Clarke will be more than pleased with what they've done in the second half, beginning to find pockets of space as well in behind the Irish defence, who have been so hard to break down in that first half. So it has been an improvement in the second half, and you just hope that you can continue that improvement, keep the back door closed as well. That's really important too, and open them up, and if you can, create another opportunity or two, take them.
They do tend to score, Scotland. They have done tonight. Jack Hendry's McGregor comes forward to look to repeat the trick. Here's McGinn, rolls it to Fraser in the overlap. He's inside the box, looks up at the goal, he shoots, and a brilliant save, you have to say, from Gavin Bazunu. Full stretch, and he puts it behind for a corner. Ryan Fraser was on the money with his effort there. Stays 1-1.
Yeah, but again, the Irish are going back and back and back now, and Fraser takes up a really good position wide. He can't get picked up there. The wing back is tucked in. He then decides to take him on and have the strike at goal, and it's a very decent strike.
In from Fraser, McGinn's little header towards the back post, and McTominay can't get anything onto it, and the Irish clear. 2 big chances in the space of a minute, less than that for the Scots. 69 on the clock, 1-1.
Yeah, well worked again, and Ryan Fraser accurate with the cross into the near post. Is it McGinn that gets it, the little header on it, a little flick, very intelligent flick towards the back post, and McTominay almost in, but you got to say good defending as well from the Irish.
Throw in for the Scots towards McGinn, tries to keep it in play. He does that, otherwise it was going to be a goal kick, but it's the Irish who pick up. Not the best clearance in the world, and McGinn has it the right angle of the box, sweeps it into the area, high looking for Dykes. headed away in the end though by Nathan Collins, and then Christie's brought to the ground by Docherty. And Scotland have a free kick in an attacking position about 10 yards from this near side touchline on the main stand side in the final third.
Yeah, it's a rash challenge, no doubt that it is a free kick, and I think the Irish are losing their discipline perhaps just a little bit. They haven't been as solid defensively certainly as they were in the first half, and I think that's down to Scotland and the changes that they've made and the movement and the responsibility that they've taken on in the second half.
70 minutes played. This is about the time the party began on Wednesday evening against Ukraine. The first of the 3 goals went in. Fraser takes the free kick into the box. It comes, it's flicked towards goal. McTominay can't get anything onto it, and the referee blows his whistle, and it's an Irish free kick inside their own box. So the final 20 minutes here, Scotland 1, Republic of Ireland 1. John Rankin's watching this one with us here on Sports Sound. John, where do you place this game just now if you were Scotland manager? A draw's fine. There's 20 minutes to play against an Irish side that's looked dangerous when it's hitting the counter.
Yeah, to be honest, I think the way Scotland's playing, the win's in the grasp. I mean, it's there for the taking, but again, it's do you roll the dice and take a risk? Now, for me, the danger that Ireland possess is when Scotland's in possession. 2 of Callum McGregor's slack passes have allowed the opportunity. And you look at the first one, it allowed the Docherty challenge when it was short for Greg Taylor, and then the second one at the edge of the box, and it ends up 2v1, which results in Hickey getting taken off, which resulted in Scotland taking 10 minutes to adjust, and the flow of the game dropped. But again, we've got back into it just now, and John McGinn's got a big impact. But the second half, we're talking about it at half time and how we're going to influence the game. The fullbacks getting on the ball to draw the wing back out for the switch of play has caused them problems, because we're going from one side and down the other really quickly, and we're getting balls into the box, and not only that, we're now getting numbers in the box as well. So we're creating space, and runners are going into it. So a big improvement in the second half performance so far.
1-1. I think Ireland may be forced into a change pretty soon. Docherty seems to be struggling. He's going to come back on for now though, as Zunu clears, having made that terrific save from Ryan Fraser, about the only save he's had to make in the game really. He played almost 72. Scotland win it back over on the far side. Fraser involved. Here's McTominay, certainly backed his best. Ryan Fraser just now back in the Newcastle first team as McGinn spreads the play right to left of the circle here for Taylor in the Irish half. Decides to pass it back the way to McKenna. Ireland with everyone behind the ball here. Henry rolls it out to Ralston, out to the touchline for Fraser, and he goes back to Tony Ralston. Fraser on the touchline again, and now it's Ralston, patient from the Scots as he goes all the way back to Gordon at the edge of his box. Plays it out to Greg Taylor on the near side, then back to McKenna, to Gordon. Scots trying to see if they can move the Irish about a little bit, find little pockets of space which have been difficult to find all night. Dykes wins another header, hardly ever misses one, as Christie's body checked by Egan, who goes into the Swiss referee's boot, and Scotland have another free kick just about the same area from the one that was taken a couple of minutes ago on this left-hand side. 73 played, Scotland 1, Ireland 1. Again, it's in the final third. Again, John McGinn's over it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be culture play all the time, isn't it? McKenna there just with a long clip pass up to Dykes, who wins it again, did magnificently well, right onto the feet of Christie, and then Christie getting the opportunity to run at their defence and open them up and winning the free kick eventually. And Ryan Fraser's been extremely accurate with his set pieces.
He takes this one right-footed, bending in this.
Curse of the commentator.
What a surprise,
Curse
Willie.
Of the commentator.
Was always going to happen. He actually had John McGinn as an option to his left if he wanted him. McGinn had left the scene, having been over the free kick initially. Fraser took it, and it's a bit of a waste, and the Irish come away with it again on this near side with Burnley's Nathan Collins. Leaves it to Docherty. It's back with Collins, and now it's with Egan. Give the Irish the lead in the first half. It's a long one for old Benny. He's offside. Up goes the flag. Well, strictly speaking, that's a yellow card because he's chipped for goal, despite the fact the whistle went a good few seconds before that. But anyway, a couple of changes I think being made by the Irish here. Seamus Coleman is one of the players who is going to come on. I think Alan Brown, who got the first against the Scots in the match in Dublin, as we see a replay of Ogbenny offside. He's just offside there, and they will make the change. Seamus Coleman has seen precious little first team football recently. Of course, Nathan Patterson has been in that Everton team, albeit he's not in the Scotland team tonight. No Robertson, no Tierney, no Hickey, no Patterson all of a sudden. Let's hope one or two of the ones who were playing tonight can come back for Tuesday as the Irish pick up the ball in the midfield, but McTominay wins it back after a loose pass. He's under pressure there. Ralston has to help him out. He's back facing his own goal, charging back towards his own corner flag. He's under pressure from Parrott. Ralston does enough to force it forward to his clubmate McGregor. Back with Callum McGregor, who fires it forward as we approach the final 15 here. One apiece, but it's the Republic who are in possession. Rolled out to this near side for Docherty. Docherty now taking on Taylor into the penalty area, to the byline, and then this chip ball goes the wrong side of the crossbar onto the roof of the net. 75 in the clock. Scotland 1, Republic of Ireland 1, and it will be Docherty to be replaced by the very experienced Seamus Coleman, a familiar figure over many years in the Republic of Ireland setup, and he comes on for his 66th cap. And it's going to be a triple change actually they're going to make. They're going to bring on Callum Robinson as well, and I saw Alan Brown a moment ago who was going to come on as well, and indeed Alan Brown is the third. So Robinson, Coleman and Brown replacing Parrott, Docherty and Malumbi.
Yeah, it's big changes, isn't it? You know, obviously looking for the fresh legs. I think Stephen Kenny will be feeling that his team has fallen out a little bit in the second half, certainly not as well organised, disciplined and in control, you know, as the first half, and he feels that the fresh legs is required.
How do you read this last 14 minutes plus injury time, Willie, at 1-1?
I think you still want to win the game. You know, I think it is there, as John says, for the taking. You know, they have created chances, that they're looking dangerous in the final third, that they're finding pockets of space, Scotland, but they don't want to leave themselves open at the back. I don't think you want to go away for this game with a defeat. I think a draw is acceptable to take, you know, to Ukraine, but I think a victory would just keep the feel-good factor going.
Here they go again, another second ball won by the Irish, and they are driving forward here. Brown, who's just on, flicks it out to Coleman, who's just on, takes a touch, drives the ball to the left-hand side of the box for McLean, level with the penalty spot. James McLean with the right foot, it's a good ball, it's headed away brilliantly by Christie, I think it was. He got his head onto it in the 6-yard area. It was brilliant defending by Scotland's number 11. That was a dodgy moment as the Scots look to counter. McGinn can't keep it in play, and that's going to be a throw in to the Irish down on this near side. 77 played, Scotland 1, Ireland 1. This is such an evenly poised match, Willie.
Yeah, and it's going from end to end, and you know, the Irish certainly haven't given up hope of taking the 3 points tonight either. They're throwing men forward. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players in the box here as that cross comes into it, so that's a measure of their intent. They're wanting to win the game as much as Scotland are.
Here's Greg Taylor on this near side, forward to Christie. Moves back into his own half with the pass to McKenna. It's the midway point of his own half, under no pressure. He finds McGregor, who finds Christie. Stephen Kenny encouraging his players out there. John Carver's down talking to Stevie Clarke down below us, as McGregor passes it back to McKenna again. McKenna, low ball to McGinn, first time to Christie on this near side. Christie then firing it forward, too much on it for Fraser though. It's a comfortable take for Bazunu. 12 to play, 1-1.
But again, you know, that movement from Ryan Fraser, it's given the Irish defence something to think about. You know, they didn't have to think too much in the first half. Everything was in front of them. There was no one, you know, really making that type of run, no one looking to get in behind them. So, you know, that has been the big improvement in the second half, and it's turned the game around for Scotland.
Che Adams is getting ready to come on down below us as well. Dykes emerges with the ball. He's a little bit fortuitous, but he has it, and he rolls it to Ralston, who finds Fraser. Fraser with the outside of the boot for McTominay. He's had a quieter night tonight. Out wide right though, chance for Ralston to cross, which he does. Diving header away, he's only half clear. McGregor with the touch, the shot blocked, corner. It's better again by the Scots. Stays 1-1.
Absolutely. You know, Ralston getting himself forward and putting the cross into the box, and you know, the Irish have got big strong defenders there, and they're defending their area well, but you know, when it comes out like that, you've got to try to get yourself on the end of that ball when it comes out. That's what McGregor does, and he strikes it, but there's just, you know, a body in front of him. Good defending by the Irish, but good anticipation from McGregor.
John McGinn will take this corner in, swinger with the left foot, and it comes McTominay, gets a little head onto it. There's a big shout for handball, and the referee gives Scotland a penalty. going in towards the final 10 minutes. And the Scots will have a chance to go in front in a game they trailed in.
Wow, well, it's difficult to see from up here. There was definitely the shout for the penalty.
The Irish are protesting, Willie.
They are. I think we'd like to see a replay in that. Will the referee be invited to look at it again? Let's see the replay and see if it is.
Well, Willie's getting a chance to look at it. It's come in. It's come off McTominay initially.
The arm is up. If it comes off the hand, then it's a penalty. I think that's a big question. If it comes off the hand, it's a penalty. The hand is in a unnatural position as McTominay gets a head on it, and if it does hit his hand, then I don't think there's any doubt. The question is, does it hit his hand?
Well, they are checking it just now. I don't know if we've got time to bring John in. Does John have an opinion on this? Is this a penalty, John Rankin?
I agree with Willie. His hands are in an unnatural position. His right hand's in the air. It looks as if I don't think it's his right hand. I think it might be his left. That's a really hard one to tell.
He's given it, is he? Yes, he's given it. Scotland penalty. It is a Scotland penalty. And this, right now, as the yellow card is flashed at Seamus Coleman, is a ginormous chance for the Scots to go in front in the final 10 minutes. It's Ryan Christie. And Ryan Christie stands and waits in Hampden Park, waits with bated breath for him, looking for his 5th international goal. He wipes the sweat from his brow, hands on hips. Christie against Bazunu. Here goes Christie now, left-footed, goal! Christie cups his ears in celebration, and he has scored to put Scotland in front. Having trailed in the first half, the second half turnaround has been spectacular, and Scotland are moving ever closer to potentially finishing top of this Nations League section with all the prizes that come with it. It's Scotland 2, Republic of Ireland 1, and it's Ryan Christie's 5th international goal. How cool was that?
Oh, it's cool, isn't it? He waits, he sees the goalkeeper going to his right-hand side, and he drives it almost down the middle, down the throat, a little bit to his right-hand side, but it is cool. And such a heated moment in this game. We thought that Scotland, the game was there for them to take. It came in a rather unusual way from the handball, but both arms were up. It was a totally unnatural position for any player to find himself in from the corner, and the penalty was given, and Ryan Christie stepped up, cool as you like, and slotted it home.
Ireland making a change immediately. James McLean comes off to be replaced by one of their modern day heroes. Robbie Brady scored the winner against Italy at Euro 2016. He also had them in front against France in the last 16 before they lost to a Griezmann double. As Scotland come forward again with McTominay. 83 played now, Scotland 2-1 up. McTominay's cross, Dykes couldn't quite get that flush in the head, and the Irish are able to sweep it clear with Coleman. The header won well there by Ogbene as he heads it back the way to Cullen, and then it's back to the goalkeeper Bazunu from Collins. So Scotland in front, 83 minutes played. Even a draw would have been enough tonight. It would have meant they'd only need a draw in Tuesday. That looks as though that's going to be the case unless the Irish can score 2 unanswered goals, as Scotland prepared to make a double change here. McLean and Adams are waiting to come on, but it's all about momentum, Willie. After the disappointment of Dublin and the Ukraine match in June, if they can somehow win this one going into Ukraine, suddenly that's 3 wins in the bank.
I think you can't take the importance away from that fact, Liam. Yeah, a draw was a decent result, was a good result, but a victory, and the manner of the victory as well, being able to turn this game round, going behind. The first goal is so important in these clashes usually, but showing the character to actually turn the game round and put in a much better second half performance and get themselves in level terms, and then taking it from there. Don't settle for the draw. Yeah, the draw is okay and it's acceptable, but don't settle for it. Get your benchmark as high as you possibly can. They did that against Ukraine. They're doing it against tonight. They've turned the game round from a 1-0 deficit to where we are just now. 2-1 victory would be an absolutely superb scoreline for Steve Clarke in Scotland.
21st cap for Che Adams, 27th cap for Kenny McLean. He's been one of the most unfortunate in the Scotland squad. Injuries have come at horrible times for him in the last 2 summers, including the Euro finals, as the Irish come forward. Benny's touch takes it right through to Craig Gordon. 85th minute of the game, Scotland lead by 2-1. This hasn't been without its nervy moments. It never is with the Scotland national side. But they've come through, they've shown character, and if they can see this out, Willie, it's a fabulous win.
Oh, it is, from the position, from that first half performance, going the goal down and really struggling to find any space to create a chance, and they didn't create many chances, if any, in the first half. And they've turned it round in the second, so that was a strong challenge.
I can't believe John McGinn's not been booked tonight. I mean, he's had 3 or 4 of those kind of challenges. He's evaded one as well. Perhaps, and then Scott McTominay's got embroiled with a couple of Irish players on the far side, and the referee's going to have to sort this out. McTominay could be doing without getting involved. A yellow card, he misses the Ukraine game.
Yeah, it's a melee out there, isn't it? Jack Henry's involved now. There's players
yellow
coming
cards
together.
out. Who's getting them?
I think McTominay's got to be part of it, is it not? That's what usually happens. If there's 2 players going nose to nose, both of them usually get the yellow card, but we'll just have to wait and see. The referee's still got to make that decision. I think he's calling McTominay over, though, isn't he?
He is, yep. It's going to be a yellow, and McTominay's going to be suspended for Krakow on Tuesday. Yep, there's the yellow. McTominay's out of the Ukraine game. That's a blow, another blow. And the 2 yellows, McTominay, Jason Knight got the other one. That's another problem for Steve Clarke. That's for another day. It's all about getting the job done tonight, but McTominay will be a massive miss against the Ukrainians on Tuesday. Looking ahead to that one. And it was senseless and needless. And it's going to be a free kick to the Irish just inside their own half, over on that left-hand side. And a potential red card they're having a look at here. Not sure who the player would be if it is to be an ordering off. The referee's looking at this right now. 87th minute, 2-1 to Scotland.
I think
checks over.
I think Henry got involved, did he not?
Maybe yeah, but it's fine. It's over now. Headed away there by McKenna. Adams slips just as he's about to make the challenge. Cullen's cross comes in, but Craig Gordon will hold on. 87 played. Scotland 2, Ireland 1.
Yeah, you just want to slow it down now. You've got to get the sensible heads on. And make sure that you see this one out. Only a few minutes to go before that final whistle. They've done the job. It's been a tough slog throughout the night. It hasn't been, one of their better performances, but it's been full of character.
McKenna's header out to the far side. Ralston's also headed it forward, but pinched back by the Irish in the midfield and nipped forward to Ogbenny. Will turn it out to this near side for Collins. Looks up at the Scottish box, chips it into the back post and flicked behind for the corner by Ralston. 88th minute, 2-1 to Scotland, but the Irish suddenly feel as though there's a point in this for them.
I think they've always been positive in the second half, and they've had the opportunity to go forward. They've certainly put men forward, and they see the clock ticking down. They see an opportunity, to get something out this game, and they're throwing bodies at it.
Robbie Brady over the corner, outswinger with the left foot coming up. There's pushing and shoving in the box again, which the referee's going to have to sort out. He's had a busy few minutes. There's Sandro Schaefer. Much busier than he was in that Celtic Real Madrid game here a couple of weeks ago in the Champions League. And once again, there's an Irish player gone down onto his knees in the box, unhappy with a challenge. John McGinn involved again. Outswinging corner coming up for the Republic here as we head towards minute 90. 2-1 to Scotland. In it comes, left-footed, bending into the 6-yard area, and the header, I think it's going to stay in play. Ogbenny's going to get onto it, right-hand side of the goal. McGinn wins it back brilliantly for the Scots. Now he's going to charge forward. McGinn forward to Ryan Fraser, who's pace to burn. Can the Scots seal the deal here? Ryan Fraser driving at the Irish box. He shoots well wide with the right foot, and it stays Scotland 2, Republic of Ireland 1. We're in the 90th minute now.
That's a good break from Ryan Fraser, and he drives fully at it. He does have Che Adams on his right-hand side. He's got McGregor coming up on the left as well, so he had a couple of kind of opportunities there. Listen, I've no problem with him taking it on. in that situation. You know, it's there for you know, the little man to find a piece of glory and you know, a piece of his own glory this evening. And the fact that he's turned round and been so positive with the drive forward, then he's got every right to strike it. He just doesn't strike it well enough or accurately enough.
He's a fabulous player, Ryan Fraser. He should have so many more caps than he has. He's earning his 24th tonight. Made his debut against England in the Griffiths free kick game. Won one of the free kicks in one of his first acts as a Scotland international at full level. Here come the Irish though down the left with Brady. 4 minutes being added on. We're in the first. In comes the cross and the flick for goals. Caught there by Gordon. It was Coleman's flick at the left angle of the 6-yard box. Got himself into a fabulous position. But Gordon holds on decisively. And it remains Scotland 2, Republic of Ireland 1. The Scots getting ever closer to 3 successive wins against Armenia and Yerevan, and 2 here at Hampden against Ukraine and the Irish. And it will all lead to that match in Kickoff on Tuesday evening. And what a night that could be for the Scots, who, unless the Irish scored 2 unanswered goals, a draw would be enough to finish top of the section. The incentives are huge. Coleman with the up and under. McKenna's there, though he heads it clear. Heading towards the end of the first of the 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the second half. Seamus Coleman has it. Has it on the left foot, midway inside the Scotland half. It's a big switch of play. Out to Brady, who controls on the chest. He's got support out there if he wants it from Robinson. Robinson looks to cross the ball and comes off McTominay. Back to Robinson on the far side, up against Ralston. He's twisting and turning, looking for space on the touchline. In it comes, and there's a header at goal, which is held on to comfortably by Gordon. It's Coleman again. He's just left of the penalty spot, and Gordon holds on, and it stays 2-1 to the Scots. You could be doing with playing a lot more of these closing stages up the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, I think that would settle the nerves a little bit, but to be fair to the Irish, you know, they're putting a lot of effort into it. They haven't given up hope.
Brilliant from Adams, and then Fraser's wiped out over on the far side. And the referee is going to be out with the card here for Brady. It's not long on. He was away there. He'd ridden the challenge, and it's a professional foul by Brady, and Scotland have a free kick over on the far side, but that's fine. That eats away the seconds for the Irish to try and find an equaliser. We're down to the last 2 minutes of injury time.
It's quite a challenge though, isn't it, from Brady? You know, no attempt to take the ball at all, just taking Ryan Fraser out of the game. He's got a low centre of gravity. He tends to deal with these tackles, and I think he's well used to them. When he gets that head of steam up and he's positive and he takes on defenders, inevitably it doesn't leave them with too much options but to take him out.
Here's John McGinn wide on the right. The Scotland supporters sense victory. It's close. It is close. McGinn down in the corner flag, just eating up the seconds that are remaining. It's about a minute and a half to go. McGinn still has it. He's so strong, and he's won a throw-in down there for his team over on the north stand side, to the delight of the supporters over there. Just over a minute left, Willie. They're nearly there. Nearly 3 more points in this Nations League.
Yeah, there's many ways to win a game, isn't there? You know, a very poor first half, turned it round in the second half, but the most important thing is that you win the game of football. You know, it's not as pretty, it isn't as elegant as what we witnessed on Wednesday night, but it was full of grit and determination, and most of all character and belief, and I think that's what's got them through in the second half. The changes were important, the attitude, the responsibility taken on in the second half to turn this game round. Well, looks like it's going to see them out with another fabulous victory and set them up for that game on Tuesday night, which will be the opportunity for you, as you say, Liam, you know, to really make their mark in world football, certainly European football.
What a corner as well. Brilliant from John McGinn, assisted by Ralston, and Scotland have a corner deep in the final minute of second half injury time with a 2-1 lead. A perfect scenario. The 2 over it, and in no hurry to take it. I make that time up. And again, the McTominay over on the far side's going out for an Irish throw-in, but that's the 4 minutes gone. Steve Clarke's asking the 4th official why this game's still being played. Throw into the Irish, deep inside their own half. That's it, it's all over! 3 wins in a row for the Scots in Nations League B Group 1, and they've had to do it the hard way tonight. After the flamboyance of the win over the Ukrainians on Wednesday, this was all about the grit from Steve Clarke's team, who trailed to a John Egan goal in the first half. A difficult first half, a first half they didn't really get going in. But Ryan Christie stepped up, an assist and a goal from Scotland's number 11. First crossing for Jack Hendry, who began the move himself, as Hendry's header found the net via the far post, before Christie slotted home a penalty awarded for handball to ensure the Scots win this game. They knew if they didn't lose this one, a draw would do them in Kickoff against Ukraine on Tuesday. A heck of a lot to do, because we know how good Ukraine are. They didn't display it here on Wednesday, but they surely can't be as bad as they were in that game.